Alrighty, figured we get started just a minute early here. It's Friday, let's get it done. It's not like I've got a bunch of viewers beating down my door yet. Okay, so Aussie's kind of ranged out since we came down and made this new bottom here. Uh, that is been working on this half frequency on this hourly chart. Nice range here, double the range again. Nice tests on the back side of it. Very well tested frequency. I like it a lot. Um, Not so much this downsloping red line. It's kind of sloppy around it, but it still has some value, I think. Definitely could have been worth a short trade here with an extremely small stop right there, and that happened. It happened this morning. The only problem with it is, one, this is kind of marching up higher, and two, it's Friday. And the Friday reason is the main thing that is keeping me out of it. So if we look at the 20-minute, we can also see this red downsloping frequency, which is this modified shift median line, which catches price very nicely. Even this coil here, even on the inside of the handle here, and the touches here, very good frequency. Nice, nice confirmation all around. Then we tried to go through it and found support on the horizontal. So decent to play off of, probably not so great right now for continuation. Maybe if we're lucky, we might get one more chance to sell here with the stop like up there, and then we could take that to this hourly target down here, or this downsloping red median line set, and that would be a decent trade. I think that would be from risking almost nothing, 10-15 pips, to make 80. Pretty good. So I would like that trade if it showed up next week. Alright, what else? How about yen? Don't like it, but like I said, I wouldn't have liked it back here either. Just follow the plan. If it rolls over, it rolls over. We got some good things coming for us, and that I don't like to play correlations so much because they tend to stab you in the back, but the yen and the ES do seem to be fairly highly correlated right now, at least on a small interim basis, not on anything that you could overlay one chart on top of the other. But if you wake up and the dollar yen has gone up a bit, then it's a good chance you're going to see a fairly decent positive stock market. So I'd kind of like to see the stock market turn around. And there's some good reason to think that it may, at least for a few days next week, because we're running into the end of the month, and that always gets money chasing after the stock market, unless something big or nasty is happening usually. So good chance that we may have a run up here, and we just need to be patient. Keeping the stop under this poke right there. Hopefully that'll keep them from taking us out over the weekend. All right. Stock market, speaking of which, 24-hour chart of the ES on the hourly bars. Also looks like they're trying to roll over with the moving averages. Took these out. Playing with this right here. Not looking real healthy. Also came up to these old highs, and we found some sellers. So it could just plain old die from here. Who knows? I'm kind of looking for this for them to wash everybody out on month end. If they're able to do it, they will. It's too much money to be made by selling into new highs, and so if they can find a reason to support it, I think that will happen sometime next week. Canada, nothing to talk about. Still sideways. It's been sideways for over a week now. EURUSD. If we took this out and then, so if we did something like this, came down, took those out, and then came back up, I might consider a sell against this line here. Otherwise, I'm leaving it alone. Kind of rangy. Definitely don't really want to do anything on a Friday. We could still see, some kind of switchback action on this. We did have the change of behavior here. However, this is much more major looking. If you want to look at it on the 4-hour chart, you can see that these kind of look like little minor pokes, whereas this is a more defined swing on this chart. However, they did take it out. Do have upsloping moving averages, so and this nice thrust bar. So if I got to be anything, I got to be long at this point. I mean, even if it turns out to be a wash and rinse, if there's an appropriate stop, which is always the trick. Okay, Nasdaq also not so great today, but not the end of the world either. Still looking weaker than the rest of the market. And I'm guessing the Russell is going to look the same way. Yeah, even weaker than that. I did want to talk about how you can really just kind of slop some lines in here on old gaps. You can see there's an old gap in here. There's a gap, it crosses in a gap here. This is an old minor Fibonacci target, which is this 618 extension of this ABC leg. But when you play with those, you don't want to get all bent out of shape if it does something like this and zooms through it, because you never know when it's going to fail and come right back in. Same here. If you just think about this whole area as kind of a zone, and sometimes it takes price a little bit or to chase everybody out that's already got a short position on, then you'll stay out of a lot of trouble if you think about it as a zone instead of, oh, it crossed this line, oh my goodness, it went up another half a handle, 10 pips, 15 pips, 20 pips. It's not to say that you don't want to have a good spot. I mean, there was nothing to do. There was no trade here. There's no stop. Your stop has to be all the way over here, and if your stop's all the way up here, you better be trading for holding onto this trade for a couple of months, trying to catch this thing going all the way down, here somewhere, and that's a lot harder to do. Anyways, point being that we get a lot of these things stacked up, and they turn into some nice zones of support and resistance, rather than getting hooked up on just one line. Okay, what haven't we talked about? Look at gold. Well, let's turn around. Printing up a couple of nice days. Still on the bottom side of this median line that failed, and looking like it wants to rock its way lower. So, not really excited on the long side for that, and I don't really see a short trade either. Maybe you could do something with playing against this poke up here. But gold's so wild and woolly, I don't really like anything but the most obvious and easy trades with a small stop. Banks, same deal, came up to touch this median line the other day, and we've melted down since. Took out these lows. I'm hoping that it comes back up again, but that's a dirty 4-letter word, so having taken these out, it's not good. Doesn't mean they can't turn around and come back up anyways, but since these lows didn't hold, that's not a real positive sign. When you look at that on a 5-minute chart. They're not all that huge, but we had all this morning volatility that tried to turn it around and failed, and then hit that again from the backside today. So definitely down for now. This whole thing could just be rolling over after washing out this peak. which is this peak right here. We'll see. That doesn't exactly fit into my end of the month scheme, though. That doesn't mean we don't sell down and then get an end of the month bump up back into here or something like that. So, yeah, there's lots of scenarios that could get played out. Yen looks like it's trying to roll over. We're looking for this target down here. We're not in a trade. We're just thinking that they may be what would happen. There's probably a trade in here somewhere on this hourly chart if you dig hard enough for it. That's decent. The touches here, kind of a bit sloppy there, but we zoom through, come through, and test it from the backside. That might be a line worth median line set worth keeping a look at. Let's mark out our bottoms. Remember, let's think about it as a zone. Here we caught these lows, bounce it off, zoom through it. This other side caught the support and resistance from this and the downsloping median line. So that's a real simple picture you can draw in real fast. Keep you on the right side of the market. Now we just barely took this poke out, but we haven't taken out any swing highs. This is a lot more clear to me right now than Aussie dollar is. You know what would be nice would be we come out, come up like right into there. Sell with a stop over these guys. Try and take it to the lower median line parallel. It would be pretty good. That's something to look at for next week. Alright, I think that's all I'm going to do this morning. It's Friday. Let's take it easy and not get ourselves in a big hurry to trade, because there's just not a whole lot of time left. So take it easy and wait for the weekend to be over, relax, and the market's not going anywhere, so neither am I. I'll be back next time. Y'all have a good weekend.